places. And I must say thank you for sharing your husband's story with us. A story of passion and resilience. It really resonates with most of us here, starting from nothing and growing into something. It is something worth emulating, all the tidbits here and there. And you also hold your own story into a story. I like that. Thank you so much for sharing with us. Yeah. And I'm also curious to know how the mister over there was able to read 19 books so far this year. I pride myself as someone that reads a lot. So I wanted to say, okay, I think I can do better than you, but as soon as you mentioned 19 books, okay, let's take a step back. I've not read up to 19 books this year, but I've read quite a lot of books this year as well.
Just 360 something books a year.
300? Oh, okay, mine is not up to 300, but mine is also 3 figures, around, yes, about that. I think I have over 2,000 books on my phone. Yes, so as soon as I said 19, I love it, and I loved it. Thank you so much. Although I'm still curious to know how you are able to do the 300 books. Yes. So today, my topic is on from chaos to clarity, crystallizing clarity. Okay. Most people are not confused. They are incapable. They are confused because too much is happening at once. So sometimes you need to take a step back and just say to yourself, what do I want to do? What do I want to achieve? So I'm going to ask, what is chaos? What do you understand by the word chaos? Can someone give me a brief definition of their own understanding of chaos? Can I get someone from the audience to tell me? Chaos, what do you understand by chaos? Or rather, let me rephrase it. When you hear the word chaos, what other words can you use to qualify chaos? Bad goes in our life. Tell me please. What? It means trouble sometimes. What other word do you think comes to mind when you hear chaos? What can you use in place of chaos? Tell me please.
Hello, good morning. Chaos is about disarray, negativity.
Yes, disarray. You're disorganized. You are unstable. Everything is jumbled up. So how do we get clarity from something so confusing? How do we get clarity from something that does not make sense to us? So right here, we will take ourselves on a journey of clarity, going from chaos to clarity. So I tell you, chaos simply means clarity that has not formed yet. Because your life is in chaos at the moment, because your life is unstable at the moment, doesn't mean that things will not make sense. Doesn't mean that you will not, life will not fall into pleasant places for you. And work with what God has in plan for you. So today your plans may change midway. You already have plans, you already have something you want to build, and it changes all of a sudden. So what do? You don't give up. You create another plan and you move on. Sometimes you build systems for years, you build something so solid for years, all of a sudden, due to maybe natural disasters, ill health, something will just roughen it up. So what do? Do you stop? No, you don't stop moving on. Think of traffic. I know that many of us have experienced the Mandela traffic due to the road construction. Sometimes I stay in that traffic for like 3 hours because I commute from Abuja to Suleja on a daily basis. And what causes the traffic? Maybe just a tiny car will just obstruct a part of the road and it leads to chaos. What happens? You stay in traffic for like 3 hours. But at the end of the day, all it just takes is for one military guy with his very long stick to clear the whole place. Something you've been there for like 3 hours, gets cleared in less than 20 minutes. That's clarity. The military guy came to give us clarity on the road, and suddenly you have a free-flowing traffic. The solution is not to panic. When I stay in traffic for 3 hours, I don't panic. What do? Okay, how can I make my stay in this traffic better? people watch. I think the traffic on that road for close to months made me a better driver, and that is getting opportunity in the midst of chaos. I was able to become a better driver. There are some drivers on the road, I call them Volkswagen drivers. You know all those drivers that drive these golf cars? They are a menace to the society of that road. So I call them Volkswagen brothers. Yes, as soon as you see them, just stay clear of them. But because of that traffic, I've learned not to budge. I've learned it is energy for energy. So my driving got better during that time, during that period of traffic. And I can say that, okay, when I see a Volkswagen brother these days, I don't shake. I say bring it on. But it still has to be moderate because those people do not value their lives. It is very crazy. So chaos is what happens when clarity has not yet caught up with reality. So sometimes you have that in your life. So I have an activity for you. Can you identify one area in your life that feels unclear right now? This is the beginning of the year. We have so many plans we want to achieve. We have so many things we want to achieve through the course of the year. I know you have so many goals that you intend to achieve. So what is that thing? Can you identify one area? It could be professional, it could be your private life, it could be so many things. It could even be social interaction. Can someone share one area in their life that is unclear, that they need clarity on? Can you share an area in your life that you need clarity on? Any takers, please? Any takers? Can I have someone? Okay. All right, please go ahead.
Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is Fortune, and one area of my life that's still lacking clarity is profession. I'm still a core member, and I'm a mass communicator, and I was into presentation before I came to Suleja. But from, I think, last year until this point, I don't think the future is clear to me. I have a lot of things that are, on the way, that when I try to figure it out, it's unclear.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing. I know it took a lot. Thank you so much for sharing. But I want to tell you that it's completely normal not having everything planned, not having everything situated. So you can still grow into it. It just takes planning, it takes resilience. Just like Mrs. Oluremi shared her husband's story. He didn't have it all figured out. He started quite late in life, but where is he now? He's doing fantastic. So I can assure you this gathering will give you better clarity, better understanding on how to move forward in your life. Thank you so much for sharing. The reality we live in is that life comes at us suddenly. We have just like he said, for him chaos is basketball. We have a lot of basketball moments in our life. So what do? We just ride the wave and we let it flow. Once we ride the wave, we see opportunity, we see something becoming clearer. Sometimes we have decisions that we need to take instantly, and many people feel overwhelmed in taking that decision. It is not because they don't know what to do, it is because we have too many decisions to make and we have too many opinions, because we seek advice from people. They'll say, do it this way, another person will know, do it that way, do it what way, and all that. So sometimes it tends to be very overwhelming and confusing. But I want to tell you that being overwhelmed is not equal to being unable to do something. It has nothing to do with your ability. You just need to take a step back, and it is not also weakness. Because you cannot make a decision now doesn't mean that you are weak. Doesn't mean that you don't know what to do. You just need something so simple, something less complex for you to start. So any confusion you have in your life now, I'm not worth whatever it is that you want to achieve. No, it's not because of that. It is usually a signal that clarity is missing, not your competence. You are capable of doing so many things. You just need to get clarity on it. So now we want to reframe crisis. Chaos is not your enemy. Confusion is not your enemy. Rather, it is something that will project you into greatness. For me, crisis means transition. During crisis, sometimes that is when our best works come out. When we are so tensed, when we are so confused, something just clicks and everything we've been hoping and wishing for comes into play suddenly. Chaos is equal to unmet clarity. So what we call crisis in our lives could be a job that stops making sense. I'm sure some of us are in jobs that are like, oh, I'm just so done with this job. I'm looking for the next way out, or the next step, or the next level. A system that collapses. We have relationships that we've been hoping and wishing and praying for years to make more meaning, to make more sense in our lives. Why do people stay stuck? Why do people stay stuck? They stay stuck because they are waiting for certainty. They are waiting for the right environment. Oh, that thing is not giving me the vibe I want. That thing is not, I'm not feeling it. So I need to wait for the right moment. I can tell you there is never a right moment for you to do anything. Because the conditions are not always suitable for whatever it is you want to achieve. As a Nike phrase or the Nike phrase will say, just do it. You don't have to wait for the right thing to appear. You don't have to wait for all the factors to align. You just do it. And some people, they do too much at once. You don't have to do too much. You don't have to do too much. Like on the red carpet when I was asked what advice I would give to young people and all that, I told her that to keep things simple. Simplicity is a way of life that gets you moving forward. Because when you have too many complex things at hand, you have to ask yourself, okay, so what do I do first? That's where scale of preference comes in. What is the most important thing that you want to achieve? What is that thing that once I achieve it, the other ones just fall in line? You have to ask yourself that. Then avoiding decisions. You stay stuck because you are avoiding to make decisions. Like I said, sometimes our professional lives, our personal lives, we have things happening there. And sometimes we stay stuck in that profession, we stay stuck in that situation because we avoid making decisions that will change our lives, that will change our journey. So I tell you, if you are stuck somewhere, professionally, personally, whatever, you have to make that decision. Do not avoid it because it's still waiting for you. You have to make that decision. Then the clarity shift. When we stay stuck, when we want to unstuck, let me use the word unstuck ourselves from a situation, what do? When everything is chaotic, when there is confusion in our life, what do? The first thing you do is to pause. Okay, wait up. Let me just breathe and think about what exactly is going on. Most people, when they get stuck somewhere, what do? Or when crises come at them, what do? They react emotionally. Sometimes when we are met with things that are not clear to us, the first thought in our mind, you think that's probably the right decision for you to make. No. That's probably one of the worst decisions ever. So you have to pause in the moment. You have to analyze what's going on, what's best for you. Don't decide on things because, oh, something is this in my life. I need to make just breathe. Be mindful of your situation, but at the same time, just take things easy. Do not overconsume information. During COVID, everybody was like, what's going on? What's going to happen to my work? Suddenly we were asked to stay at home. I'm a school owner, and I think we were hit the most with COVID because all our kids had to stay at home. It was very crazy for us because what is online learning? Yes, we had a little bit of technology infused in our practice and all that, but it was still quite new to everybody, even the big schools, even all over the world. It was really something that was tedious, everyone was confused. What do we do? Workers managing to get paid now that we are not working, especially our private companies. People that rely on daily feeding. How do I go out if I don't? How do I meet my needs if I don't go out? So it was really a trying time for us. And we didn't have a lot of clarity in that moment. But later, everything started to make sense. We had to make plans. We had to unmake plans. We had to see what worked best for us. So at that moment, it was very bad for everyone. But still in the midst of that chaos, we had people thriving. Consumables, people still had to eat. They had to make food, sell food. You still have to buy your toiletries, you still have to buy your groceries. That's where essential and non-essential products came in. Hospital, the doctors still had to work. So in the midst of chaos and the crisis, or in the midst of COVID, we still had the systems that should not stop working. We're still able to access our cable TV, DSTV was working. NTA, they still came to work and all that to report on what next and everything. So it still needed to be done. So what do we do when we cause the noise? You'll be able to, the decisions that are not urgent for you to make, you will not make them at that moment. You pause them. You reduce input. Like during COVID, the vaccines were not good. If you mix garlic and ginger and onions and this and that, you save yourself from catching COVID-19 and all that. How many of us did that concussion? I did it. Yes, I did the concussion. We just wanted, get a lot of chloroquine or something more. So we had too many information that we just wanted to try what's going on. At a point in time, use your nose mask. Everybody was coming out with their nose mask. At a point in time, if you are not using a particular brand of nose mask, you are in trouble. You have to use the N95 brand of something. The later came out again. No, even if it is cloth, the fabric nose mask, it still works. It's going to trap the virus. No, that's not the way to wear the nose mask. The blue has to come out and the one that is perforated has to be inside. If not, you are still not covered. You are just covering your nose and less oxygen is coming. So we have so many news, opinions, information about COVID that we're like, okay, so what do we do? Which one is true and which one? Even the government, they were confused as well. So many bulletins, so many information that did not make any sense. Even when the vaccine eventually came about, don't take the vaccine. It's a way for them to put a chip inside us or something like that. So many facts that were not right. That was confusion. That was chaos. That was instability. But at the end of the day, we survived. COVID left, we got vaccine, herd immunity and all that, and now we're able to gather here. Then COVID-19 compliance, we couldn't sit the way we are sitting now. We had to 2 steps ahead, 2 steps backward, something. It was just a confusing time. That's chaos. That's crisis. But did we meet with clarity? I'm sure some of you were like, oh, I'm tired. It is too much. Let me just stay at home. I don't have to go out. Let me just stay at home. I can always say I'm working from home. That was when the phrase working from home came about. So we can always say that, oh, I'm not going working from home, but you still need to show your employer that you're working from home. So you have to reduce the news. You have to reduce the opinions. Opinions are good. You can ask people's views and all that, but you have to filter the ones that you will collect. Then the pressure also, you have to reduce it. Still on clarity shift, distill what matters from complexity to simplicity. I'm always an advocate for simplicity. Once things are simple in your life, it makes a lot of sense for you to be able, if you get focus when you want to do so many things. When your decisions are simple, they're not complex, you don't have like so many equations, like differentiation that is looking like further maths to you. Like, oh, this is a mountain that I have to climb. Chaos feels overwhelming because everything feels important. You feel that I have to do everything at the same time. No, you do not have to do everything at the same time. Make a list. Make a plan. If I could only fix one thing, ask yourself, if I could only fix one thing. This is for when you have too many opinions, too many options, the pressure is intense. If you could only fix one thing, in the next 30 days from this RoadMap conference, what will create the biggest shift? You know, earlier I said that you just need one thing and the others fall into place. What is that one thing that you feel once you do it, everything falls into place? Can you write it down and still ask yourself, what is that one thing in my life that at this moment it will create the biggest shift for me? I'm sure all of us, we have it. Just need one thing. Sometimes when we are looking for money or we're looking for a business opportunity, just like Madam said earlier, her husband met so many governors and all that. When he was waiting at ECOWAS, his name was not on the list. What happened? He needed one person. He needed to see one person. And it was that honorable that even told, not him, told the policeman to write his name on the list. He needed to see that one person, and it is the one person that made the breakthrough started coming to fruition. So you need one thing. Ask yourself, what is that one thing that will make my life more meaningful, that will make the other things make sense? You need to do that. For the clarity filter, you need to ask yourself this: what can I control? What is within your power? The next one is, what is urgent? What is that thing that I need to do now that every other thing will fall into place? What decision am I avoiding? I said earlier, avoiding decision is one of the things that gets you stuck. What is one clear action that you need to do that everything comes into fusion? For all these things, you need to be smart. I'm not talking of smart as the adjective. I'm talking of smart as the acronym. SMART means specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, timely, or some people use time-bound. You have to make SMART goals, SMART decisions. You have to be specific. For instance, now this is January. Some people are, okay, I want to lose weight. Yes, we know you want to lose weight. But is that realistic? That is very vague. You have to be specific. I want to lose 10 kg. You have to measure it. Can you lose 10 kg in a day? No. You still have to break it down. Then achieve it. Well, how do you want to achieve it? You can't achieve it by starving yourself, can you? No. In fact, you are not even ready to lose weight. You have to make important small steps. For instance, okay, carbs cause you to gain weight. Okay, I'll reduce the quantity of rice. That's something that needs to be achievable. Not that you stop rice completely, because you are going to have withdrawal, carbs withdrawal, and that one will just trigger so many things. It has to be relevant. If you attach it to something, like, okay, I have this, what's it called? I want to be able to move my body better. Like, okay, I work in an environment where everyone is active, and I've been struggling because of my weight. So yeah, that relevance is the environment that you're working. Then timely. You can't lose weight in a day. Is it 6 months? Is it 3 months? Then you do that. Opportunity in crisis. The people who win in uncertain times are not confident. They are not the most confident. They are not the most prepared. They are the most adaptable, the clearest thinkers under pressure, the ones who turn confusion into direction. And to thrive, they need focus, speed, and direction. Look at the case of Zoom. Zoom became a household name during COVID. Everybody was suddenly using Zoom for conferences, for teaching, for businesses, for meetings, so many things. How many of us heard of Zoom before COVID? Quite a few, just quite a few, especially maybe like the business people or workspace. Google Teams came into place. Facebook even had its own thing as well. But Zoom became a household name for that. And they needed focus, speed, and direction. So in the midst of crisis, Zoom had the opportunity to blow because that is the app most people used. So it was their own time to shine. So for instance, when in chaos and you need clarity, you can ask yourself, this situation could be an opportunity for me to, if you have a sad moment or a chaotic moment, it could be an opportunity for you to take a step back, review what's at stake, and make new decisions. Start afresh. Then when we now crystallize clarity, when a plan fails suddenly, clarity starts by you separate the facts. What is real? What am I even dealing with? Their stories. What are you assuming? You know, whatever it is, when we want to get clarity, we have to be objective. You don't react emotionally to things. What are the facts? What are the ones I'm assuming? You know, sometimes we base a lot of things on assumption, and that never works. It is the fact. No matter how painful the truth is, we need to equip ourselves with the fact. So clarity begins when emotion stops driving the wheel. Do not use emotion when you want to have clarity. You have to be objective. The truth is painful, but it's just a very process that you need to get things done. If clarity were truly your greatest advantage, what would you do differently starting today? So once you have the clarity, what do you want to do differently starting today? Because I tell you, clarity does not need perfection. Like I said, do it at faith. Just do it. Do it anyway. The conditions are not right. The factors are not set. Do it anyways. Because it needs commitment.